Hey there folks, welcome back to Let's Play Nobunaga's Ambition Sphere of Influence. I'm Mysterious JG. Just had another one of those video and a half type videos, but it was worth it because we completely annihilated the enemy. And battle has left Hisahide with the Statesman, Lucky, and Golden Touch traits. And pulled us back to a funky view for a second, which made me think political events were happening, but history is broken completely. So the funky thing is that even though units marched out of Niriyama to fight in that battle, they're back up to 5,000 troops. Nobunaga's unit has been cut down quite a bit. So has Kazumasu's unit. They're each at about 2/3 of the troop counts they had going in. Kicho barely got touched, and Lu Bu also, well, he's got about 3/4 of his starting troops in strength. But that's having done much more damage to the enemy than they just received. To the point where I keep wanting to check the Hojo. Have it knock. I mean, they've got a lot of troops. It takes more than a battle that size to really move them in the rankings. But what's really surprising me is how far below the Amago, or the Uchi, the Amago are. I think things are not going well for the Amago. They haven't started asking us for help yet, but I'm not sure that it was ever really a big deal to worry about the Amago attacking us, because it seems like they've got too many of their own problems. Yeah, their territory's getting eaten up. Their capital city is now on the border with their enemies. Now, getting the Shimazu to join our little happy family would be nice, and I wouldn't be disinterested in having the help of the Take clan or the Date in particular. Date might actually make a difference if they marched in at this point. But I don't think we've got enough time left in this coalition. 7 months. Is that 7? You know, it's not 7 months have gone on. It's 7 months to go. We don't have enough time. The Hojo are going to survive. Greatly weakened, to the point where, unless I was simultaneously at war with them and the Nagao, I'm pretty confident that I could take the Hojo out by myself. Matter of fact, that might be a good thing, because we don't have to worry about the Takeda and the Nagao gobbling up their territory. So the question then becomes, is the smart move after that to take out the Takeda, because they've got really good officers that we can use. Certainly, if we become hostile with the Takeda, we'd want to take these cities that the Takeda took from the Hojo. And this, it's going to leave, things are going to get a little weird once the Hojo and the, rather the Takeda and the Nagao are no longer friends. You're going to have like this Nagao city that's completely separated from the rest of Nagao territory. At least the Takeda, other than this one Mitsudaira city in their way, are in pretty much in a nice contiguous space. Now, take a little break from that. How are things going over here? The Chosokabe still haven't moved. I still think we should be able to take this instead of whether supplies run out. And that would leave Tottori as the last stronghold of the Suzuki clan. And also, it would be, you guys are of the Amago, so it would mean that, like, Central Honshu is completely held by me and my friends, except for the Asakura up here, who I'm just not that worried about. They're, honestly, they're our enemies, but there's a bunch of, like, crappy mountain roads between me and them. And the first city that, like, the city that's closest to them, you got places like Waguju Hachiman, but yeah, they'd be right at Gifu. I mean, that's Nobunaga's not generating troops as fast as some of these cities, but it's pretty fast. So this is still probably the most interesting front. And they are sending more troops over, and if I start threatening Odawara, I'm thinking we will see Uji, the head Hojo guy, might finally start taking a personal interest. Ujiyasu Hojo. He's been everybody in the coalition except us. It's weird. We're kind of the guys who put this thing together. We kind of have the largest army of the coalition. He keeps avoiding us. Maybe he realizes that the unit sizes that he leads, if he gets wiped out in battle, it would be devastating to his force. Anyway, we won't have combat over here quite yet, so let's head over here to see what's going on for the next few turns. You guys have found a new path, so good for you. I don't know why so many of our allies keep trying to come in through the same route. And you guys are over here helping us siege this castle, so I sure hope you don't think you're gonna... Or is one of you a tribal unit? No, these guys are, I don't know if they're helping us besiege the castle or if they're trying to march through. They're just marching through. Okay. The likes of Sadayu Suzuki's unit is no match for Raiden. I am Raiden. And he's taken enemy officer. I'm trying to figure out which Kawaii person's voice he has. It's the new Liu Bei. It's the Dynasty Warriors 6 and onward Liu Bei. It wasn't bad or anything, but man, I miss Dynasty Warriors 5 Liu Bei. Alright, well, food is going to become a problem, but they should be able to encircle and take that castle. Tottori might march out to try to save it. As a matter of fact, they probably should. They don't have enough troops to do it, but it might slow me down, which they kind of need. The Chosokabe not really being the best allies for the Suzuki clan. And by this time, my lungs were aching for air. No, by now I figured they would be here ready to fight us. And indeed... Ooh, that's going to be a tough city to besiege. It's on top of a frickin' mountain. Well, let's get you fighting them. No, this is kind of weird. I don't know why you diverted down there. I don't want you getting attacked from behind, but I do kind of want those guys off our backs while we're going after the next Hojo city. And honestly, Odawara, 16,000 troops. Jeez. If they manage to attack without being molested at all by troops on the way, and I mean molested in its actual dictionary definition, so don't get all weird. Hideyoshi plus Mitsuhide would have enough forces to encircle Odawara, but they're not going to get unmolested. There's a good almost 7,000 troops there, and they can't really afford to lose Odawara Castle, so they're going to fight for it for sure. But I'm thinking now that once shit really starts getting real over there, I mean really real, that's when Ryu Doragon, Katsuie, and Ayama Takada march out of Sunpu. And I am starting to believe, folks, I'm starting to believe it. We will have Oda troops down here fighting for Niriyama and Shimoda, isolating, like cutting off Odawara from any reinforcements from any direction except east. Now, east is the heartland of the Hojo, but it basically means the only way they can reinforce the place is to draw forces out of the center of their own empire, which just weakens them overall. And I'm starting to think that in this assault, might take more than one video, but I'm starting to think we're going to take Odawara Castle. Who would be leading the defense of this place? Toriyama Rosaru. I don't believe he's there now. I believe he's on the march somewhere else. We got a couple of clan members over there. One of these cities should be run by Grimmeth, actually. We haven't really heard a lot out of him in this LP because he's a domestic officer. I'm sure he's been a great help to the Hojo, but it's been in sort of a quiet way that wouldn't be called to the attention in gameplay. Now, for whatever reason, Uchiyasu's Soup Phantom has leveled up his war stats. He still isn't very good at it. They're making Kururi their capital. And hell, maybe wherever he is Grimmeth isn't actually in charge. I mean, he's an officer here. Yeah, that's what it is. He's in the capital, along with Earl King, who is marching. Grimmeth is not marching because Grimmeth is not a military officer. Hojo clan is getting stronger every day. Not sure what world you're living in. Yeah, so Grimmeth is living in a world of denial. Anyway.
We march.
I want you attacking this way. I know you're trying to help out Kazumatsu, but he's going to have to at least hold these guys at bay. I wonder if there's any point in waiting before I unleash the awesome power of Ryudoragon. Or if I should just get him out there now. It's an awful lot of troops out, folks. They're all doing pretty good for supplies because they all stopped off at Sunpu. Sunpu is going to be a... Having that city and holding that city is... The Hojo should not have let me take that city. It generates troops really quickly and it's mine or mine. So you guys are tribal support, which is good. So I was starting to worry that... Starting to worry that my allies were still on their old instructions to take this city, and we're going to try to steal it away. Meanwhile, I've got... Okay, so I've got at least one unit each from those forces, and I thought there was another one. Yeah, up here. The Chosokabe, I thought they were going to get involved. Now, it looks like there might be a Chosokabe unit here. Oh, the Amago are coming. Ooh, Amago are on the move against the Chosokabe. I wonder if I should be helping them. Thing is, the Chosokabe are having their real trouble fighting. Oh, here we go. Here's like the big boss of their clan. And he's throwing down with. Looks like he's actually trying to take a city back from the Uchi. Oh, I don't know if I can get involved, and not they certainly haven't requested it. Oh, the Mori, including Motonari Mori, are trying to take over a city from one of the vassal states of the Amago. But yeah, I don't think I should get involved unless they ask for it directly. But I would love to see the Amago. I don't really want to see them start taking over Shikoku, because right now Shikoku is entirely held by a hostile force, and I could just wipe it clean for myself. But I would love to see them retaking these cities there with Shikoku have gotten out of Honshu. Because beggars can't be choosers. And if these guys are just mixing it up in the west, that should leave me in a good place to advance in the east. I keep getting into like this analysis mode of what's happening instead of just letting events play out. I don't see anything I can do over here except leave it alone. My allies may actually be able to take Tottori if they work together, which they should. They're all my vassals. So I think the action where I'm most likely to need to play a role is still over here, against the Hojo themselves. Saw that? Atata! Ora, ora! It's taken! Kishiwara Castle, bitches! Ora, 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 ora! That's my deal! Ora, ora, ora! So the victory music is playing even though there's massive armies still out on the field. And I'm just starting to wonder, do they resupply? No, they don't. Part of me wants them to go fuck with the Chosokabe. The two of them combined would only have a very slight advantage over this unit. It's tempting. I think the Chosokabe are better in naval warfare. 68-91. It's hard to know how that would go. I think these guys, they're there to stop me from attacking. They need to rethink their deal. Either way, I should resupply them. Maybe there are worse things I could do than to go fuck with that city or those guys. Do I not have enough troops encircling this place? It doesn't say whether or not I can actually. Usually it says incomplete, or it shows a little white bar getting smaller. Neither one of those things seems to be happening. So now I want to. We've done enough diplomacy on Shimazu clan to request reinforcements. I continue diplomacy, yes. What are your... Now you're at 120 days. Let's go fuck with these guys, and if it doesn't go our way, we'll pull back. But, the Amago are definitely landing on Shikoku. And hey, if nothing else, having the Amago holding the city closest to the easternmost city in Shikoku, the one that's like been their launching point every time they try to mess with me, stopping me attacking Ishiyama, for example, that would be fine. And I can still think about possibly marching a unit out of Ishiyama, especially now. The Shikoku don't have a way of, Chosokabe don't have a way of messing with me anymore. Because if I start fighting them here, I don't want to take Samoso. I don't want to get a foothold on there I have to defend, but... Do I have enough food to do guns and horses to do that? I got 51k as my limiting factor. This would take well under half of that. And that would still leave me, I think, with plenty to march out of here. 22 plus... What was it, 21 over there? Yeah, that would work. Let's go ahead and unleash the beast. We knew where this was coming. I don't want to... We'll just march them there and we'll decide what to do with them in a moment. And then we will march out of Ishiyama. Guarantee victory. Ooh, we can start heading for Tottori, although I told my vassals to take that, and I might want to give them a chance. Now I'm just getting silly. Probably should have left those guys in reserve. God, look at the size of these units that I've got marked around. These are actually bigger than Oji Yasuhojo's unit, although we can't tell the exact size of his. It's just giving us an estimate that's in the 10,000 range. I could do a battle here, and I've got them outnumbered. Just let it go. Maybe Kicho could help you.
Understood.
Getting awfully hard to... I got so many troops out, it's kind of tough to manage them all, you know? Oh, we're just dealing devastating losses. But Tomoyuki is discontent enough not to fight us if we ask her, but continue to conspire? Yes. So I've gained the rouse trade. Let the nation know my might. The nation of domination. Our army of 10,000 is fighting an army of 2,000 in Mishima, and guess what? We're winning! We have Saika Castle surrounded by a force of 10,000. It should fall rather quickly. Our army of 10,000 is fighting an enemy of 5,000 at Nirayama, and we're on top. We're in combat at 3 locations against 2 clans. Take a close look. We've got the 2 battles over there. We've got a battle over here around a castle. And we haven't actually engaged over here yet, but it's coming. Those guys are still facing our way. Oh yeah, this is a big old throwdown. I think we could really help the Amago here. And we could put a foothold. Do you think we could get a foothold here and actually just make it so that it's really difficult for them to take? I mean, oh, well, they've already got an yeah, they are. I was being silly. You can't land at one spot on an island and completely stop them from heading anywhere else. They now have guys steaming into the rescue of this city. So, Nagahide Niwa may need to change direction. But we are in the War Council right now.
Reporting
We
in.
actually
Here's
made
last
more than we
month's
spent
balance.
last month, but again, it's only because of selling food. How about teaching the
Reporting
lucky
in.
trait to a retainer? What are you, like, one of the... I don't remember their names, the puppeteer race from the Ring World, breeding luck as a genetic trait in humans. How about teaching the Golden Touch trait? Quite a few people have gathered at Kiriyama Palace. 160 muskets have been offered into our arsenal. Yeah, you know, I still like the idea of arsenals, but they really trickle in muskets pretty slow. All that training's paid off. I've grown. So, our usual tactic, I think we've got like so many troops out in the field, we can probably avoid buying muskets and horses for now. Because I certainly don't want to sell food until we get our next harvest. I mean, there's a lot of judgment involved in figuring out when it is and isn't okay to sell food. But, I don't know. We took a city, that's right. We took one of the cities from the Suzuki clan. So we need to get somebody over here to actually run the place. So, who's got a bunch of officers? Well, we got super pissed off guy, but he's not very good at his job. Oh no, I'm sorry. He's that the red text doesn't mean he's disloyal. It means he's dying, and that's too bad because actually that guy Nobunaga is a very good officer for us for a long time. But he's dying. So, not really working on getting my best officers in the world over there at this rate, am I? These are cities that have some pretty good officers. But, got a couple of really disloyal guys down there, actually. I should see, who's in charge of Toba Castle? Don't seem to have anybody with a swindler trade, unfortunately. Not who's there. Where are you located? He is already at Toba. Oh, but the guy who's there now would probably become disloyal. Yeah, Toba Castle's got some bitchy, I should say, officers. I think I concentrated them all there for some stupid reason, thinking, oh, I probably had the person with the swindler trait there. Yeah, I think I had Skadi North there and then had to move her because there was just more important places for her to be. So yeah, he's orange now because he's got that castle bonus thing. So who's actually got the best stats? Of these guys, they all kind of suck. Well, maybe I'll move one of the other guys at Toba Castle who's really pissed off, and let them be the lord of this new castle. You're the overseer. Actually, you have the best pole. Not to say that your pole's great, it's just that there's other people whose pole is even worse. Now I've got 5 people over here. I should get somebody who's got halfway decent war stats in case they need to march out of there, so we'll go with you. Alright, so that has 3, that puts 3 people over there. And then I can, I screwed that up. I keep thinking, just select it, press start. Yeah, okay. Let us show them how awesome it is when we let the computer do shit for us. Certainly moves stuff faster. As long as this is taking, it would be going even slower if I was still going through every single, like, spending labor to, what was it, develop, yeah. I'm not doing any development by manually anymore, it's just, it was too slow. Okay, so I guess the plan was, oh, I don't know if I had a plan for this place. I must have done. It's probably supposed to be, got a lumber mill here. Cargomans are in place. Well, it's definitely, these were definitely going to be military. Whether I was going to change this to military too and have these all be commercial or not. Yeah, these were going cargomen and these were going to be military. So let's get Mr. P working that. And we can upgrade or add or whatever it is. This is working on a garden. Oh, this is going cathedral. Only reason I'm not having Mitsuhide do it, he could do it from afar, it's just that he's the overseer, so he may already be developing from afar. Nijo Palace. This was a place that had a pretty funky design as well. And I think the idea was lumber mill. Well, lumber mill, does that improve other stuff? Probably should have an orchard there, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. This definitely needs to be a cargoman, and I had that in mind when I was building all this stuff. I probably was thinking about tearing this thing down and making it conscript too, but honestly at this point 3 conscripts, 4 commercial, 3 agriculture is not a bad balance. If I really feel later I want to march a lot of guys out of Nijo Palace, I'll have to change it. We got our normal thing of wondering if it's finally time to build a new castle facility anywhere. This place can build a chapel, and that's the best thing they're going to be able to do. So let's get that chapel going. I'm figuring that eventually I will have more progressive officers than anything else, especially as I collect up strength affiliated units that have creative officers. Maximum popularity increases. And the effects increase with more cathedrals, and definitely I'm building a lot of cathedrals. So just in terms of, you know, the tea retreats help neutral, the Buddhist temples help conservative, but they only help a certain amount. The chapels are just going to be more effective because I've built so many cathedrals. And I've built lots of cathedrals, not just because I think I'm going to have a lot of progressive officers, although I mostly did that, but, well, no, I built the cathedrals, not worrying too much about what the what it was going to do to chapels. I built the cathedrals because they are really OP military kind of development in this game. And I've heard from people who've played more Nobunaga's Ambitions games than I have, but that tends to be the case with cathedrals in the series. Finally, I can build the chapel here. I've been waiting a long time to build this chapel. Kind of hoping that there was something better I could build in this place, but it doesn't seem like there is. And in fact, if I'm allowed to build another facility there, that place could also... That was Shobata, right? They've got a facility coming. I could build a turret. But I'm almost out of gold, so I need to think about not doing stuff like that. But I'm not thinking about it very hard. Apparently. I spent all my money. I don't know why I'm still looking. I guess to see if there's something else I should have built instead of what I've been building. This place has room for one more. I'd like to eventually see it get a... Is that even possible? Before I set aside a slot in that castle... No, there's no... How could I ever get 2,000 food here? I would have to completely give up on the other two things that you need. No, I don't know why. It seems kind of unfair that this place is supposed to be able to build a depot. It doesn't make any sense. Still can't negotiate anybody to join our coalition. But again, considering that the coalition has only got 6 months left, there would no longer be a point in inviting anybody to join the coalition. I might be able to start a new coalition once the old coalition expires. I don't know for sure how that works. Once again, the guys who are right on the cusp of ditching aren't that good. You are never going to be all that happy because you really want a Nobunaga that is dead. None of the guys who are kind of... I mean, these are decent guys. We can actually search this place for stuff. A wonderful idea. Okay, well, Mr. P is a lot more positive and upbeat about that kind of stuff than some of our overseers. Other overseers have been. Overseer. All right, never mind. It still didn't bother to get the lyrics of that song handy. So we're gonna call it a video here, folks, and when we come back, more of what you and I both love the most: War with the Hojo. Bye bye.